Only Ohio is produced in association with PBS 45 and 49 and is seen on Ohio Public Television. This is a Judy Jeffreys production. He came from a poor Ohio farm family, lived through the Depression, and served his country in World War II. He created a billion-dollar business empire with nothing but a good family recipe and old-fashioned hard work. A family of Welsh descent that banded together to build a business empire so popular that his name is familiar to most Ohioans. In fact, many of us share a meal with him weekly. He's a great example of the kind of success story you'll find right here on Only Ohio. It all started on the border of where Ohio meets West Virginia, in a town called Rio Grande.
Hi, I'm Judy Jeffreys, inviting you to join me right here on Only Ohio, where we go behind the scenes and visit some interesting places and talk person to person with some of the people responsible for a remarkable state of Ohio. The man you're going to meet today, I met and spoke to a few years ago. His name is on products in over 13,000 grocery stores and in restaurants spanning 21 states. What's his name? It's Bob Evans. You're going to find out how Bob grew his business from a 12-stool diner in 1946 to a billion, yes, I said billion-dollar business empire. Here we are with the man himself, Bob Evans.
Yeah.
You know, Bob, I've been coming to your restaurant since I was a little kid.
Well, good. Well, thank you. Well, this is some of our food we're serving today.
It looks great.
Yes.
This is a chicken dish. You've got some new dishes, too. I saw you have
Yeah,
some
we
wild
change.
barbecue.
They change it about every 3 months. Yes.
And you're starting in with salads and
Oh, yeah.
carry home.
Yeah, our salads are great too.
Yeah, your salads look great. Let's
Yeah.
walk over and sit down and see
All
some
right.
of your customers.
Good.
Can you tell us a little bit about this restaurant? This was your first steakhouse. Did it end right here? Do you remember which part was the old restaurant?
Well, there was no place to eat in this little town. We just had a place here. We just had sandwich and coffee, so we wouldn't have to drive 12 miles to get something to eat. So we just had one girl and one cook, and started out right here. But this is not the first restaurant, see?
Right. You said you had another restaurant in
Yes,
town.
yes.
Tell us about that. You said you were in the war and you came back.
Well, yes. That was they actually called them all a milk shop. And I was during the war, and they kept putting me off to go to the Army. And so then finally they said, well, we're not going to take you. You got 2 children, you're 25 years old or something, not going to take you. So the guy at the restaurant couldn't get any help, losing money. So he told me he wanted to sell me the restaurant. I said, my God, I've been sitting here for a year waiting to go to the Army. I don't have any money. I don't even know how to make coffee. He said, well, we know how to make that. So anyway, he said, I'll sell it to you for nothing down to $500 every 6 months, $3,300 I think it was. And so I bought the restaurant. And of course my wife, she was a tremendous cook.
She was a
so
good
she
coffee
come
maker.
In. Oh, she was tremendous.
And Jewel helped you a lot. You said she was like your chess kid.
She never worked in the restaurant, but she helped a lot in there, showing and teaching the people how to make stuff, pies in particular.
Now that restaurant did so well that you decided to open one right here.
Well, no, I went to the Army. When I got back from the Army, I was trying to, I couldn't sell the restaurant, so a friend of mine bought half interest in the restaurant. He run it while I was in the Army.
Okay.
And I came back, he wanted to buy it. I sold it to him. I went up in the other end of the little town and put a little truck driver stop in.
Oh,
Only
okay.
12 stools, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That was the steakhouse.
That was the takeout.
Okay.
That was the first one, and that's where we really did well.
Now, how did you meet Jewel?
Well, she was in high school here, and she took advantage of me.
And 6 kids later?
She's one of those queens, you know.
Right. Now, you said that when you opened the restaurants, you could not get the kind of sausage that you had on the farm.
Well, after the war, everything was quotas. And I didn't have any history.
Right.
And so I couldn't get any meat. I had all this business and no meat. So I started butchering out here on the farm. It's the family recipe.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And so anyway, it worked out real well. And people come here from everywhere to get it. They drive kind of from Charleston, West Virginia, just to buy every week to buy a couple 100 pounds.
Now, you said you went to the war, but you didn't do as much as you wanted to do.
Well, no. See, in the Battle of Bulge come along, they had 18 of them. The Battle of Bulge come, they took everybody. After they told me they weren't going to take me, I got my paper. 3 times I got my induction papers and didn't take me because of my age, see. Okay. So then when they took me, I went down to Texas. We went to the Infantry Replacement Training Center and all that, shipped me over to POE, Port of Invocation at Boston to go across, and just kept me there.
Okay, now you said that Evans is a Welsh name.
It's
Dad
Welsh.
was Welsh, and you had mentioned that he only went to 4th grade.
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us a little bit about that.
Well, both my grandfathers died. They were coal miners, Welsh coal miners, and farmers down here in the country. They both died young. Probably one with black lung and so forth. But my dad, because of that, didn't get to go to school only 4 years the entire life.
And there were 10 kids in his family?
There was 10 kids in his family.
Okay.
So then he went 6 weeks, when he was 16 years old, went 6 weeks to a little neighboring college here. At that time, you passed the teacher examination, you could teach school. So he passed the teacher's examination at 16 years old, taught school down in southern West Virginia when he was 17 years old.
My goodness. So he started teaching
And that's
school.
how he kept his mother in the family.
Now, how did he end up getting into the farming business and grocery business from there?
Well, he had a little grocery store. In fact, he had it in Wood County first, and then when my grandmother got sick and died, he moved down here and we started a little store. And he had some of the family and the farm. They all worked in the store. It was during the Depression and things were really tough. And he worked almost 7 days a week those times.
Right.
At that time, you couldn't buy any good sausage. See, we were the first ones to put hams and tenderloins in the sausage.
You were? All right, okay.
And the other years ago, sausage was made out of scraps. So we changed the whole thing around.
Okay.
And that's how that's one way we got started.
Tell us about your first delivery truck, why you couldn't deliver in the summer.
Well,
and
now
not in
actually the
winter.
first delivery truck was just a pickup truck.
Right. That was
Just
a Studebaker? Was
Yeah,
that the Studebaker?
Studebaker.
Okay.
Yeah, we had, and it was only cost, a new one only cost $1,625. And then, after I got it going a little bigger, I bought an old bread truck for $75. $75. And then I didn't have refrigeration, I just used ice. So I'd take milk cans and put it in full of ice and put the sausage around the milk cans and deliver it.
Oh, and you had a fan, it said, to circulate the air a little
Oh, yeah,
bit after a while?
yeah. So anyway, I was getting pretty good and I had a fan, see. So anyway, everybody told me I was going to go broke, and so I was afraid to go in debt for it much, see,
Sure.
because,
You're very careful, it seems like.
well, when you go through the Depression, you're a little more cautious.
I bet. Can you take me around to see your farm out here, the homestead? This is where...
Oh, sure, be glad to show you around.
I'd love to see
We
it.
have about 1,100 acres here, and over at the other place where we have the plant, where I started the plant, we have 2,500 acres. So we
Oh,
got,
my.
and we raised a lot of cattle and a lot of quarter horses and that type of thing.
Bob eats in his restaurants daily and is recognized by his many customers who feel they know him from his familiar hat and tie to his friendly smile. In the early years, Bob found he had so many visitors daily to his house, it was just easier to open his homestead to the public. The reason people felt they knew Bob so well was because he was one of the first entrepreneurs to make use of TV to sell his products. People were used to seeing Bob in their homes, on their televisions, in commercials, so he just seemed like a part of their extended family.
Come and get it, Bob Evans Farm Sausage.
Easily done. On plate or bun. Just right for Saturday night.
Yes, sir. Our Bob Evans Farm sausage on Saturday night is an old Southern Ohio farm custom. Makes a real hearty main meal, and it's so easy to fix. Both kids and grown-ups says our farm sausage makes for mighty good eating. We have 5 styles. Our regular sausage in the white bag, our more peppery hot sausage. Then there's our little link sausage, our easy-to-fix casing style, and our new smoked sausage, smoked with Southern Ohio hickory. Try some of this Saturday night.
Bob Evans Farm Sausage. Real old-fashioned country sausage made on the farms in Southern Ohio.
Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Now, you've been chairman of the board for 30 years now.
30 years. Yeah, I've been at the company 45 years in January.
Okay, and you worked your way up, you said.
Yes, I have,
What
yes.
was the first job you had?
Well, I killed hogs half a day and made sausage half a day. I worked in our Virginia plant.
Okay, and you said you made $1.60 an hour?
$1.60 an hour, yeah.
Okay.
And my dad thought that was more money than I had to come to.
The Bob Evans Company was a close-knit family business where everyone worked together, even cousins Bob and Dan.
You're saying the company is very, in effect, moving forward. You're starting to have a new facade on your restaurants. Can you tell a little bit about why you're changing how the restaurants look?